Is Xavier Worthy, University of Texas, Xavier Worthy, wide receiver, going to be the next Tyreek Hill or the next John Ross? Now, if you don't know how fast Xavier Worthy's 40 time was, that 4.21, he's faster. He ran a 40 faster, a faster 40 time than Tyreek Hill. People who don't even watch football, but they glance at the TV screen every now and then. Let's just say they only watch the Super Bowls. You know Tyreek Hill is the fastest guy in the NFL when it comes to a football under his hand. So Tyreek Hill did not run a faster 40 than Xavier Worthy. That's how fast he was in his 40 time. But as we also know, you get very fast people every year, and a few years later, you hear nothing from them. John Ross is one of those guys, but he's not the only one. He's just one of the later ones. But now you can see this tweet from Landon Holyfield at the Lando Show. He says, Xavier Worthy broke John Ross's record, but Xavier Worthy is not John Ross. Speed aside, Xavier Worthy has nuanced route running ability, so he's a great route runner. Strength through contact, so he runs physical. You know, a lot of times these fast, slim athletes, which he is slim, he's not DK Metcalf, they usually don't run well through contact. So cornerbacks, DBs just try to get their hands on him. You can't do that to Tyreek Hill because he's going to run through that contact as well, and you can't get your hands on him. Strength through contact, so he also game film of him winning at all three levels across the entire formation and against elite competition. So this is someone who says he watched film, and when he played elite competition, he's playing well. I mean, these are some of the things you can go off of when it comes to, what speed matters. If there's a 4.2 guy at the D2 level, for an example, it's going to be hard to be able to calculate and put that from college D2 to NFL. At least for Xavier Worthy, he was at the University of Texas, and he has film on teams like Alabama. That's a key thing. Also, he says separates rather seamlessly. That should be clear. It should be clear on film that a fast guy separates. It should be clear that he's fast. If he runs 4.2, he needs to be fast. That should be clear. Does at times struggle to track high point. Look, if you've ever been frustrated at watching a player struggle to catch the football, that part scares me. Because the knock on fast people is always they can't catch or they can't run routes. Like there's something always with that. And that's what receivers do, which is always scary. I've never really I don't think I've ever played receiver in any kind of in any of my levels. So any professional, and I'm sorry, any organized football. But I know enough to know that when that ball's in the air, especially the deeper passes, shit ain't easy to catch. When you start adding all the different elements and people hanging around you and all that, it's not easy. There's a reason why these dudes get paid what they get paid. That's scary because who's to say that he's just going to all of a sudden get better at that at the next level? It's a little scary. He says, speed aside, John Ross was a glorified go guy that preyed on undisciplined defense. He's basically saying that John Ross was a guy where maybe if a corner peeked inside, he's going to go or he's going to hit him with an in and out. But for the most part, he was a go guy. He was not a guy who's going to route you to death. He's not a guy who can break you down and do other things. So it was easier to kind of design plays. It was easier for defenses to kind of control him a little bit. So that's interesting. That's definitely interesting when it comes to Xavier Worthy versus a John Ross. I like to just look up, honestly, let's just see. Let's just look up some game film. Xavier, spelled it wrong. Spelled it wrong again. Xavier Worthy versus Oklahoma never really been known for great defenses, but let's see.
Had a great first 5 games. The tailback doesn't get the ball immediately to Xavier Worthy. 2 years ago,
okay, now look, this isn't fair. I get it. But let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is, because we've seen Tyreek Hill play enough to know now. I don't care what his college film said. We know in the NFL, Tyreek Hill is making guys miss, even when it looks like the play should be made by the DB. He either gets around him or he's able to juke. So again, this guy, Xavier Worthy, ran a much faster time, actually, than Tyreek Hill in the 40. But does that make him is he going to be anywhere near Tyreek Hill when it comes to his ability to play football in the NFL? This play tells me not sure. I'm not sure. But again, that's a good play by the defense. Maybe that, you never know. We got the DB playing 10 yards off. Look, the DB's playing, 10 yards? He's already 10 yards off, and he's backing up as soon as the ball snaps. You got to be able to get that. They're playing prevent. It looks like it's 2nd and 25. You got to be able to get that. He catches the ball. Good play. They're playing zone. He gets open. Good play. He gets everything you need to get right there. I would say that's more of a busted play. You see, that's just poor zone. There's nothing really there.
Nobody left in the middle. Ewers sees that and delivers the ball field or downhill, causing a lot of problems.
So his next pass is what, the 3rd quarter, midway through? That's probably,
I'm sure Sark's sensitive to what we're talking about is
maybe they're doubling him. That's a good route. Good catch. Hey, look, let's call it what it again. I don't know what Tyreek Hill's college film is going to show exactly. It doesn't even matter. But if you're special, this right here, you got to figure out a way to get by number 2. I'm just calling it, if you're special, which I'm not saying he's not special, but let's say he was on a kick return or a punt return. You want him to try to do, this is one-on-one. At the end of the day, I'm not paying you a lot of money. I'm not picking you top 10 for you to duck a one-on-one in the open field. Unless somebody tells me he's running too fast and he couldn't slow down, but I see a decision to just take what they gave instead of, I'm special. I know I'm special. Let me wiggle by him and try to get 5 more yards or possibly a touchdown. This is one-on-one right here. Now, maybe you say his momentum took him out of bounds and he just decided. Is he special or not? That's not good. Again, we don't know what's going to happen, but tell me this is a good play, as you already have those concerns. He's a slender guy. Deshaun Jackson was also slender, so he could be a Deshaun Jackson. He doesn't have to be Tyreek. He could be a Deshaun Jackson, who was great as well. But this is a sign of not too physical. Drops, this is a 2-3 yard route. You got to be able to figure out a way to just get in that end zone 2-3 yards out, but you definitely can't drop the ball. Oklahoma boys ain't hitting like the boys going to be hitting in the NFL. Let's just call it what it is. That's a good. Okay. Let's see. Was that it definitely was a good defensive play. Was the DB maybe playing off? Yeah, the DB's just running back. So I'm no technician, but I'm assuming Worthy is supposed to get him to really bite on the out. So he comes and the DB turns, but it doesn't look like Xavier Worthy eats up enough space to really get him to bite on the out. He's already running up the field before the DB really has to adjust. Look, he's already coming up the field. Maybe that's how it was designed. I don't know. But if I'm him, I'm breaking at the dang first down line because that's where the DB probably thinks you're going. But I'm definitely not breaking. So you just got to be able to run these routes, not just you got to be able to run them on people too. So I think he didn't give himself a chance to use his speed because now the DB is already in position. He just has to run with you because he's already behind you. So you never really put him in position. Now, there's some contact there. He got a pass interference. That's what speed does as well. Speed gives you always a chance to just throw it deep and maybe you get a pass interference. So that's a good play too. Here's a quick one. Again, I know we're comparing him to Tyreek, but doesn't it seem like when Tyreek catches a 4-yard pass and turns into a 7, it looks like he's still just moving quick as hell? There's like a burst. There's a gear that seems like only he has. Another quick one. Takes a hit, catches the ball, takes a hit. That's a good play. Looked like the DB actually was hurt on that one. He's delivering the blow. Ooh. Ooh. He bounces up too. I like that energy. That energy comes with confidence. Look, y'all. That DB could be a top 10 pick. I don't know. But is he special? That's all I'm trying to figure out. If I'm drafting him in the top 10, top 15, so far we haven't really seen a whole lot of just route running. Just call it what it is. I promise you, if you look up the Ohio State receiver, any game, I don't care what game you look up, you're not going to get to the fourth quarter and not be able, ooh, that's a great route. That's good. You're going to see greatness throughout the game, especially by the fourth quarter. So we're just comparing. Apples, just comparing. He catches this ball right here. That DB isn't even here in the picture. There's no DB in this frame right now. Tyreek Hill does what to this guy? He's out of there. Look. We're doing this. We're not professionals, y'all. I'm not a professional. Eyes are, you're probably not a professional. But I guarantee you there's scouts right now breaking down the film that we're breaking down, but they're breaking down every game. And these are the little things that they are probably looking at that's going to say, is this guy a top 10, top 15? Is he better than this guy? Is he better than that guy? It's going to be these things. And guess what? Xavier Worthy may be a great player, and this definitely ain't no criticism on him. I'm really just trying to figure out what makes these fast guys different. Like, why is Tyreek so different than everybody else? And maybe it's some of this stuff right here. Just these little moments like this, you can tell, like, that was a good defensive play. But if Xavier Worthy is special, isn't he supposed to break this tackle? Based on when he caught that ball and the fact that the DB was not even in the picture. That guy that made the tackle is not in the picture right now.
Worthy on the edge, gets a couple blocks, cuts, and that was a nice play.
We're going to see.